Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, EM wants me to stop treating my young adult children as adults. Why don't you have free brand new laptops? Entitled mom gets mad at my mom and her robotic kid, me. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. EM wants me to stop treating my young adult children as adults. So a little backstory is in order. I have two young adult children living at home ages 18 and 19. They both work and go to college. I trust my kids, I trust their decision-making skills. When they graduated high school and turned 18, new rules went into place. No curfew, just call me and let me know if you are going to be out all night so I don't worry. You can call me at any time for a pickup, no questions asked, just don't be stupid and drink and drive. Yes, your so can sleep over or come over for the weekend, just let me know what's going on. Pay a small rent during the summer when you are working full-time and pay your part of the car insurance. You have your chores, I have mine. We all work together. I tell them if they are being assholes and they listen, in turn I listen to them. There is very little fighting or arguing in my house. This is their time to spread their wings and learn how to be a responsible adult and have me as a safety net. Lately, one of my kids' SOs has been spending a lot of time over my house. He is here pretty much all the time. 2 days ago, I got a phone call from a number I didn't recognize and I answered. It was my daughter's boyfriend's mother. Me equals me. EM equals entitled mom. Me, hello? EM, you need to tell my kid he isn't allowed over your house anymore. Me, who is this? EM, this is Tommy's mother. Me, I already know where this is going, OH. Tommy's mom. I have to say you have raised a great kid. He is always polite and respectful. In fact, look. I don't care what you think about my kid. He is never at home. He isn't spending any time with me. Me, okay? There isn't much I can do about that. EM, yes there is. Tell him he can't come over to your house anymore. I want him home. And you set a bad example for my son. Your daughter has no curfew and I am sick and tired hearing how nice it is at your house. I miss him and want him home. Me speaking very lowly and basically growling into the phone. Are you done yelling at me? I think I stunned her into silence. Me, I will take that as a yes. Do you trust the way you raised your son? EM, what? Me, it's a simple question. Do you trust the way you raised your son? Of course I do. What does that have to do with anything? Me, do you trust him to make good decisions? Yes. Yes, of course. She is starting to calm down now. Me, mother to mother, I know things are not okay at your house right now. Her husband drinks a lot. I am trying to give your child a safe place when things are not okay at your house. She starts to cut me off at this point, but I won't let her. It's not your fault. Me, he throws your son out for days at a time sometimes, doesn't he? Yes, I can hear her choking back the tears. Me, do you need someone to talk to? Would you want to go out to lunch? That way you can feel safer knowing whose house your son is at and that he is safe? That would be okay. We were on the phone for about an hour after that. What started out as an EM was just a scared woman feeling very, very alone. Sorry there wasn't any righteous retribution, but I think it turned out okay. I am going to try and get 19-year-old Tommy's curfew changed from 10 p.m. to midnight and maybe he can stay over for a weekend. You handled that awesomely. I don't really think this is entitlement. the mother was just scared of losing her son and so very alone. I feel bad for her. No need to have some over-dramatic climax, you helped restore my faith in humanity. Perfect example of not everything is what it seems. What you did probably went a massive way to rebuilding the relationship between a mother and son that was obviously being torn apart, and hopefully building up the mother's strength and courage to get herself in a better place emotionally. Incredibly well done, and thank you. You're raising your kids well by encouraging trust and independence. There was no better way to have handled that situation. I'm glad the situation is getting better and he'll be able to spend more time over at your house so he can feel safe. Thank you. It is unbelievably important that we listen to what people aren't saying. I wish I'd been as empathetic with some of the parents whose kids wound up living at my house, but I didn't know how to diffuse their anger and kind of went into shell shock once they started shouting at me. Didn't keep me from keeping their kids, who needed a safe place to sleep, for heaven's sakes, but I didn't handle the parents at all well. You rock. Why don't you have free brand new laptops? During the start of COVID, when things were in disarray, no TP anywhere. I was still working, my employer didn't believe it was real and a liberal hoax. At the time, I moonlighted computer repair to make extra money. My dad's employer upgraded all their laptops, like 100, and couldn't get rid of all of them. Instead of going to e-waste, my dad told me about them and I took them off their hands for a bulk price. I had 100 laptops of varying vintage, 10 to 7 years old at the time. I cleaned them up, maxed out the RAM when possible, swapped the hard disks for SSDs and installed Cloud Ready, which was an open source alternative to Chrome OS. Worked beautifully on these old dual-core laptops. The local church was doing donations to help with COVID, so I donated the laptops for kids so they can do some schoolwork at home. The majority were appreciative as they didn't have a computer of any kind. There was one mom that was very unappreciative, let's call her Meg. She told the church there was an issue and they put her in contact with me. She called me furious because the laptop was old and their kid couldn't play games on it. I told her she was free to go buy a laptop for her kid to play games on, and she said I should have given out brand new laptops and that I was going to hell. See ya there, I'll work the grill. Apparently kids can only do school work on new laptops. I saw the laptop on Facebook Marketplace, recognized it because it had number 40 etched into the lid by the factory my dad worked at. Someone had broken it at the hinge since giving it to the church and was all mangled. She said I should have given out brand new laptops and that I was going to hell. Had to look that up. Wow, she's right. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Unless of course you give out old laptops for free, in which case it's straight to hell. The Bible, Karen version. The geeks shall inherit the earth, and thou shouldst not covet thy neighbor's ram. Typical entitled parent expecting every kind stranger to be Mr. Beast. You did a wonderful thing in a time of dreadful uncertainty and anxiety for everyone, so don't let that awful entitled woman take that away from you. Some people can never be satisfied, and even if she had a new one, it would never be good enough. Wow, how kind of you to put in your own money, knowledge, and time to fix these laptops and give them away to charity. The audacity of this woman. What a terrible human. Entitled mom gets mad at my mom and her robotic kid, me. A bit of context for the story: I'm type 1 diabetic and people can tell pretty easily. My mom and I are part of a charity group and we love the moms in our group, except for this mom, EM. EM constantly made trouble with me and my mom, which my mom is our class leader. From interrupting our class meetings so her daughter, who has autism, could take a brain break to mocking me for having diabetes. Like, I understand that people with autism can get overstimulated very easily, but her daughter seemed fine and generally annoyed from the brain breaks. I probably shouldn't make assumptions, but dig. One day, my class went to our friend's Indian dance graduation and we all dressed for the occasion since it's a pretty big milestone for her. EM refused to dress up, and I thought that maybe she felt uncomfortable wearing the Indian clothing we were given. During the whole performance, which was 3 hours long, she was on her phone. Now I understand how a child can get bored, but you're a grown woman. Her daughter could sit still and watch the entire 3-hour-long performance, so why couldn't she? During dinner, she refused to eat the Indian food we were given, saying that it looked gross. Indian food isn't for everyone, but you're at a cultural experience, at least try it. After the whole thing, my mom and I were heading back to the car when we heard EM call for us. She handed her daughter's Indian costume back to us, and while complaining to my mom about how hard it was for her daughter to do her job in our class, my insulin pump sent an alarm that my BG levels were high. "Why does your alarm have to go off all the time? It's so annoying," EM shouts at me. "Sorry EM, I can't control it," I told her, but she could care less. "You should be ashamed having a robotic daughter. She should just learn to suck it up," EM shouts at my mom. "Mom, stop calling her a robot. She's not a robot, she's just different," EM's daughter says to her, and EM scoffs. "You know what? Clearly no one is on my side. Maybe I should leave this group and it'll be all your fault. Don't be upset when you want me back. I hate you and your stupid, pathetic daughter B*TCH," EM shouts, clearly pointing out my boyish hair and dragging her poor daughter along with her. Now I'm biologically female, but I prefer a more masculine look and currently go by any pronouns. I've had gender dysphoria before, but she made me feel really bad about it just then. I know this isn't the most exciting story, but I just wanted to get it off my chest. The fact she's not kicked from the group is baffling. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Her daughter actually seemed pretty well behaved, somehow. With such a mother, that's the most impressive part of the story. I feel for you and, TBH, for her daughter too. Seems the kind of mother who exploits her child's illness to get sympathy, and is clearly upset when the attention is not on her. There should be a line though, they should be afraid to cross it. At least you can get medicine for your diabetes. There isn't anything to prescribe for being a hosebeast terrible person. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.